Cisco Secure Workload, Web Services Mandate, production and test environment should not communicate. So we've got this flat layer 2 network with the same layer 3 IP address with test and production systems on it. We've also got another network that has production systems on it. We do not want cross-contamination. We want to ensure that test cannot talk to production and production can't talk to test. How are we going to do that? Well, that's Cisco Secure Workload and micro-segmentation. And this is going to be a pretty easy policy when we're trying to look at buckets of control here. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the test system just to prove out that I can connect to a production system. So everything with T is test, so T1, and everything with P, P1 is production. So you can see there I was able to pull the web page and I'm able to ping the production asset. So let's go to the production asset and give the same test the other way. So let's go ahead and try to access the test server's web page, :8080. And we can see success here, and we'll go ahead and ping this as well. .200, and that's it. That's on that same layer 2 network. They have full access to each other. I don't want to get into managing private VLANs, but I need segmentation. This is where Cisco Secure Workload comes in. So let's go ahead and create a new workspace. We're going to restrict test and production from communicating even though they are on the same network. The scope is web services. All right, we're going to change that catch-all to allow. All we're trying to do is really prevent access between that production and test environments. We'll add a manual policy here. We'll go ahead and mark this as deny. And we're going to use the scope level here. So we're going to look for retail and test. So everything in web services, retail, test, trying to talk to web services, retail, production. Any protocol, deny. We'll go ahead and create that policy. Looks good. Let's create one in the opposite direction here. So we'll go ahead and select the production web services retail scope, which is production. Let's grab that here at the bottom. And we'll do the same for tests. So web services retail tests, all of which have been part of the data center. And again, let's do any, and you probably see a mistake here. It says allow. And I kept that because I want to show you it's easy. You just go ahead and hit edit. And we'll go ahead and make that change to deny. And I'm going to keep the priority at 90 like the other one and go ahead and hit save. Because we have a catch-all policy, only this will be restricted. All other communication will be allowed. Now, this is a good way to add layers of control in my environment, stop the cross-contamination and risk, and still provide a level of security and access to all other services that are required without having to know what they all are. And you can see here, there's the host we're going to apply that policy to. And here is a review of our impacting policies. These are all good. Let's give it a reason for the enforcement, web services mandate, and go ahead and hit enforce. So everything here now looks good. Let's finish up here with some testing. Let's validate that this is actually working. We'll curl, try to connect to that site. So production to test did not work. It doesn't look to work. And same thing, test to production here. And again, just doesn't work. Now, if we try to ping from test to the production system, 66.100, operation not permitted. Now, what happens if I go beyond that to another asset? It works fine. Now, let's try that here as well on the production server. So we should be able to get to 255, or actually let's do 66.200 and connect to the test server. And now let's go to 255.1, which is an outside gateway. We're able to get to that. In fact, let's try resolution and pinging an internet-based host. No problem there either. So our policy's in place. I mean, we can look at the IP tables, we can look at the policy outcomes, but I can tell you, just based on our testing, that the policy has been applied. And look at that. From this system here, I'm able still to access those web services. Now let's go ahead and look at rejected flows here. Now this is within Cisco Secure Workload, and you can very quickly see a bunch of flows that have been rejected. So this is production 1 to T1, ICMP. It is rejected, absolute policy. And here's another one going to 8080. So production 1 to test 1. There's the details. And if we look down further here, let's scroll down. We can see the actual policy that did the enforcement. Both consumer outbound and provider inbound policy have a deny. And here we can use quick policy analysis to do some testing. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to test between 100 to .200. So this is going to be production to test. And we'll go to 3001. That's another web service that we know is available in the DMZ within the same layer 2 network. You can see that it's still a deny. Now I can still access it from anything else. I can't go from test to production or production to test. No more cross-contamination.